Girl would melt whenever she encountered high temperatures. When it was too cold at night, she would freeze. That's because she was a candle person. She could only be active at dawn and dusk. This was the only time she and her father could go outside. On this planet, day and night were completely separated. The sun and moon were controlled by two temples. They maintained the balance of day and night time. The administrators of these two temples were also the guardians of the sun and moon respectively. Today was the guardian succession ceremony. This was a grand event she couldn't miss. So the night before, she carefully arranged mirrors inside the house. Once the first ray of sunlight appeared, they would reflect off the mirrors, warming her frozen limbs. This way, before her father had a chance to thaw, she could sneak out, using the shadows of trees as cover. The ceremony site was divided into two halves. One half basked in sunlight, the other shrouded in darkness, because today both the sun and moon were in the sky simultaneously. Neither stood at the boundary between light and darkness. Long ago, this world had no light until two warriors appeared. One brought day, the other brought night. The two warriors were Stone King Yang and Blue Wolf King Ming respectively. Soon the succession ceremony officially began. Yang was a man whose body radiated intense heat. His actions and words were loud and crude, but women were completely crazy about this. On the other hand, Ming was much more low-key. They all thought becoming guardians was inevitable. As the crowd's cheers rang out, the elderly Sun Guardian slowly stepped forward. With trembling hands, he raised a mirror higher. The beam of light fell on Yang, indicating the sun had chosen him as the new guardian. But there was a problem on the Moon King's side. The spirit beast representing the moon didn't choose him. Instead, it picked the young little elf. The guardian saw the spirit beast's resolute attitudes. He respected its choice. However, King Ming completely turned dark in this election. I've never seen such a cunning woodpecker. To cover up the fact that he can't lay eggs, he tries to steal the hen's eggs, then he hangs upside down to steal the hen's eggs, but he only lasts for 2 seconds. The hen notices his unusual behavior. The hen is very angry. Just as she's about to teach Woody a lesson, she's interrupted by a bell. It turns out a hen has reached the goal of laying 1 million eggs. The flock is all jealous, watching the hen being taken away. Woody asks a nearby hen why. If you reach the million egg goal at this factory, you can go to the VIP area to become CEO. Woody is very excited to hear this. He wants to succeed, but before he can take action, the farmer appears, pouring cold water on his plan. The farmer grabs Woody, asks him why his egg production is so low. Woody has no choice but to say he hasn't eaten enough. Hearing this, the farmer immediately arranges a feast for them. Soon, Master Pig pours half a ton of feed into the trough. But Woody, being a foodie, says it's still not enough. Master Pig doesn't want to deal with him. He just stuffs a funnel in Woody's mouth and leaves. Seeing this situation, Woody decides to steal his companion's food. When no one is paying attention, greedy Woody fills the trough. When he pulls the lever, large amounts of food mixed with stones pour out. This gives Woody indigestion. Helplessly, he drags his heavy body back to the chicken coop, but he never expected that this action paid in the second hand to reach 1 million eggs. Amid the jealousy of the flock, Woody arrives at the VIP area. This should have been a happy moment, but unfortunately, there's no premium service here, only a mechanical arm that cuts all his feathers. Before he can understand what's happening, he's thrown into an iron cage. There, he meets the first hand who achieved the goal. Seeing the confused Woody, she decides to tell Woody the cruel truth. It turns out the million plan is a scam. The company believes that after a hen lays 1 million eggs, the quality will decline. To extract the last bit of value from the hens, they sell the hens to fried chicken restaurants. Woody is very angry after learning the truth. To prevent the evil boss from escaping punishment, he stuffs dozens of coals in his mouth, then kicks open the iron door. He and that hen escape from prison together. After 3 days of trekking, they return to the farm. Seeing the hen still laying eggs, Woody shouts that this is a scam, but the hens don't believe Woody. He has no choice but to grab the hen who came with him. After getting a definitive answer, the hens are furious. They no longer believe the farmer's lies. Under Woody's command, the hens line up in a row, like a Gatling gun. They repel the farmer. Eventually, the farmer falls to his death. Woody unexpectedly inherits the farm. Under his humane management, hen production doubles, and he becomes wealthy. Break a world record. Sandy injected growth serum into her teeth. In an instant, her teeth grew over 7 meters tall. At this height, a robot quickly measured and confirmed that Sandy had indeed broken the record. It also took a photo as proof. Afterward, Sandy sawed off her teeth and finally returned to the ground. Then she developed the photos and pasted them in the book. Not satisfied with this, Sandy began challenging the Devil Pepper mouthwash champ. The previous record holder had only used a small cup. Sandy ended up drinking an entire pot. SpongeBob, who was taking photos of some, would likely have been burned to ashes by Sandy if he hadn't been wearing an oxygen mask. Next came the challenge for the world's largest rubber band ball. This directly frightened SpongeBob, who was taking photos. Then there was stuffing the most walnuts in her mouth and simultaneously juggling the most chainsaws. The moment Sandy put down the chainsaw, SpongeBob was cut into pieces. Sandy's next challenge was climbing the tallest pyramid made of playing cards. When they entered the internal structure, Patrick happened to bump into it, so Patrick hungrily used a stick to destroy the card pyramid. Fortunately, at the last moment before the pyramid collapsed, Sandy successfully completed her challenge. Since SpongeBob had to go home, it was time to clean Gary's poop. SpongeBob thought Sandy's obsession with breaking records had gotten out of hand. He believed that world record book had corrupted Sandy. SpongeBob secretly snuck into Sandy's house and decided to destroy the book. He disguised himself as a robot and got hold of the book, but Sandy was breaking the record for destroying the most robots. He was then compressed into a metal cube and transformed by high-tech machinery into a brand new robot. This caused SpongeBob tremendous pain. Sandy thought she had broken every record in the book and even invited the author. But after taking one look, the author said Sandy hadn't broken any records, because the book is 30 years old, and those records had long since been broken. However, SpongeBob had broken one world record, the record for suffering the most severe injuries for a friend.